Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to the Monday Night Shmoe. Going well. So today we got, as you can see, a big panel. We got Melissa, Worldly Free
Hello.
from Dipper Toe. Thanks for
How
joining
are
us tonight. We got Fat Tony as always.
Back
Bearable,
again.
Bearable Chicken, Big G, and Steve. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on? What's going on?
What's happening? What's happening?
So check this out. 50 Trump?
huh?
50 Trump? I know you guys seen what happened this weekend. What are your thoughts on it?
Did you see the 47-cent joke?
No. Send it to me. I'll get it up here. Guys, for those of you who are joining, like, follow, retweet, repost, share, get this to a bunch of people, as I'm doing right now. So, Fat Tony, how was your weekend?
Oh, busy. Always working. So yeah, that and all of the excitement of Saturday. I think I'm kind of ready to take it easy for a week or two. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the next few days.
What about you, Melissa?
Man, my mind is still spinning from this. I don't quite know what to think about all of this. It's very unsettling, and I have a lot of questions.
A lot of questions out here. That Gordito, I like your new profile picture. How's your weekend?
Hey, thank you, man. Yeah, you know me, bro. I'm always working. This weekend, the series of events that transpired definitely had me a little upset. But through all that, I was starting to think about how important it is for us as people to remove ourselves from our emotions, right? And so that we can see things a little bit more clearly. And so, yeah, there's obviously more to what we're being able to see and witness on the surface. There's some stuff going on, but people like us, we pay attention. We come to these spaces and we share information. So shout out to everybody.
We're gonna get more into that. Big G, how was your weekend, man?
I didn't do a whole lot. Definitely. The chain of events that happened this weekend was quite shocking. I know there was a little Simpsons clip that was going around, predicting that this was going to happen. So, but a little more severe. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next several weeks.
Absolutely. And my man, Super Steve. What's going on, Super Steve? How was your weekend?
Ain't nothing much, man. Same as always, working, spending time with the family. Little astonished over what happened over the weekend. Can't believe we witnessed history. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Speaking of history, you were old enough to remember Ronald Reagan, right?
1981.
Tell us about
Damn
that.
it.
How was that?
Hey, and thanks for dating me, bro.
Joe's good about that. Joe's good about that.
What are your thoughts on that, Steve? Like, how do you compare the two?
Well, I was very young to remember. Let's say that first. But I could remember my parents watching it on TV. I could remember the discussions at home. I was only 6 years old, so I'm going to help you guys out a little bit with the math. But I do remember those things, and I can't believe that in this lifetime I got to witness it firsthand myself. And it's just a sad state where we're at right now. I mean, I could
And do
start
you
from the
think
top, and then I could start from A to Z, man. I've never seen stuff like this before.
now me and you have had private conversations, and I already know your opinion, but for the viewers, um, what is different from back during Ronald Reagan to now?
Well, I gotta say the politics are they're more hungrier now. It's more savage. I could remember a time where the politics were very discreet and it was different. It wasn't so publicized like the way it is now. I got to tell you that maybe the internet and making everything accessible has definitely changed things.
Absolutely. Melissa,
Yes,
do you remember the Reagan era?
I do. I do. I
What
remember
are,
the Reagan era.
what are your
Um,
thoughts?
to be honest, it like I was old enough to remember it. It wasn't as traumatizing for me at the time because I was younger. But today, I think this was very traumatic to watch. I we saw it live. I was shocked. Like I said, I have a lot of questions, and I'm very I'm it's very unsettling to know that whether this is real, because some are speculating that this kind of looks um, fabricated or what, like some kind of a setup. One thing is for sure, there is a setup because it was allowed to happen. It's just very, the whole thing is very weird feeling to me. Um, but one thing that I saw that I think is good is that there are a lot of people that seem to be waking up from this event, that surprised me. People that I don't really talk too much about any kind of politics or President Trump because they don't care for him, have done a 180 overnight. Um, and I find that pretty interesting. What do you, has anyone else experienced that? Because I've had several people kind of do a 180 when it comes to this, and especially anybody making fun of the fact that he was shot. Um, People are coming out and speaking out against it, where they've literally been keeping their mouth shut for the past several years when it comes to Trump. So has anybody else experienced that, or is it just me?
Well, I mean, I've seen where a lot of people are now getting doxxed that are saying anything negative about the event when it happened. So I watched one video of a guy rolling up on some lady that works at Home Depot and pretty much
Home
put her on blast. Yeah, I'm sure she's going to lose her job over it. I mean, but like,
What was she
shouldn't be saying
doing?
those things.
What was she
It
saying?
was the along the lines of like, I missed, that kind of thing.
Oh, yes.
You know,
God, horrible. Absolutely horrible. I saw something else like that lost her job. It was like a press secretary or something for one of the representatives that's part of, I think, the security type of committee or something. One of the guys, she got fired because she was laughing that they missed. You know,
Yeah,
like, who
I
does that?
consider
Who thinks
myself.
that's funny? It's not funny.
It's not funny, and there should be no place like that in America. I mean, whether we believe it's real or not, I mean, that's another story.
Yeah.
um, but 50 Trump, man, I think it was funny. I seen a lot of memes. Let me see. Let me
Well,
go into.
one of the things I wanted to say was I think Candace Owens said it best. The security detail, where were they at? What were they doing? They planned weeks in advance for such an event before the president even appears. So for people to record such an event and then point out the shooter, this is it's definitely something that, like Melissa says, something that was planned by whom? I guess that's the question.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree on that. I mean, I think if the numbers are correct, the guy was 150 yards away. How does that even happen with this? It's supposed to be airtight. Security's supposed to be everywhere. I mean, it just makes you think a bit, a minute. Someone definitely dropped the ball.
Well, I'll tell you
Well,
this. What was strange to me was is that everyone was focused on, the guy that was on the roof. But if you look at the Google imagery, right, like the Google Earth imagery, you see that there's a water tower there. behind, like a little bit further out. And I thought that that was a little strange. I have not heard anybody make reference to that water tower. Now, maybe,
You,
it's one of those fixed positions that you wouldn't have access to. But if this is, literally a show, I wouldn't rule that out.
have you guys have heard of the account John Cullen? I sent you, Joe, a video that John Cullen did regarding that water tower that you're referring to, Bearable. That, I mean, he shows like the outline, the overview of the whole setup of where everything is placed, and that's a very good question, and that's not something that they would leave unattended at all. I don't believe. But John Cullen he's an account that I followed. Yeah, years ago. He did the Vegas shooting, and he's got some pretty cool videos, pretty detailed, and he's a kind of a deep diver. But he is the map's daddy, so to speak, is what he says. But
Yeah, and if you guys see right here on the screen, that's exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah. What was crazy is I went back to algebra class and I looked at the actual path of the bullets, where it came from off the roof. And then I started thinking about triangulation. And then it led me to the Pythagorean theorem, and a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I could figure out how far the actual water tower was and stuff like that. But I just found it strange that they have not made reference to that water tower. It's just kind of really hard for me to buy.
yep, agreed.
What about that lady that was in the behind Trump? Was that has anybody seen that clip where the lady has
You
I
talking
did.
about
Yeah,
that one lady's first day on the job?
Yeah, well, no, the lady with the Biden sign. Like, I don't know if that was if that was real or not, but
I think it is real, Greg. I think it is real.
she was recording it. How do you do something like that? Somebody's getting shot at, and you're that comfortable. Come on, first of all, I mean, come on. She's a woman. Nothing against women, but she's a woman. She's sitting there, very comfortable, and pulling out her camera. I mean,
she started to put her Joe Biden sign up.
Exactly.
Yeah, she started to lift the Joe Biden sign up, and then
that's when the shots came out.
Yep, and then she had a fly smile on her face, and then she started recording. I saw that video too. And you know what else is really peculiar? For those of you that I heard somebody mention Q, I followed Q for quite some time. That Vincent Fusca was in the audience too, right by her. That's the guy that they a lot of the anons have said that's JFK Jr. and all this kind of stuff. And so, I mean, all in good fun, I guess. But it's pretty interesting that guy, there he is. Yep, that's Vincent Fusca right there on the left.
Yeah, but you also notice what shirt he was wearing?
I was trying to make it out. What shirt is that?
It's a shirt of one of the George magazines from back in the early 2000s. But if you actually look up and Joe, look up this one. Look up it's the George magazine with Cindy Crawford as George Washington on the front cover. So you could probably just Google that and it'll come up. But read the article titles on the front page of the cover of the magazine.
Very interesting. You caught that too. Like I saw that post earlier. Someone had brought that up. I didn't realize that he had that shirt on. But I mean, there's a lot of interesting things, connections to the Q post, which makes me go, which is where my mind is going, what the heck happened here? Even the fight that President Trump said, fight. That was a Q post.
Hey guys, I just want to make it clear for this stream, we're not QAnon. We don't represent anything. but
No.
Joe Schmo Network. You know what I'm saying? We
Sorry,
don't do
Joe.
none of
No
that.
no QAnon here.
No
Just
QAnon. We're not
just
QAnon. We're just curious.
curious.
Super curious.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
just see it. You know, guys, just
Question
see
everything.
it.
well, don't you
But check this
guys?
out.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This was the magazine that she was referencing, that Tony was referencing to. And you see it says dodging bullets with the FBI's.
Ooh. Wow. I
And that's
mean,
the shirt
Twinkie
that the
Dink?
guy was wearing.
Wow.
That's the shirt that this guy
Mm.
was wearing.
Mm.
So
Interesting.
interesting things.
What do you guys think of that? We lost
I
him.
think it's great.
Well, I'll tell you what. I did see that stuff about that gentleman and the JFK conspiracy stuff. I did see something on my feed that, and it's already been debunked, but they said that that was actually JFK Jr. and that Donald Trump was going to pick him as his vice presidential candidate.
I
Well,
saw that.
okay. Okay, let's. Okay. VG Talk. All right, guys. Y'all want to hire a secretary for me? This would be a lot easier.
I know.
This is how I'm doing it. VP Talk.
Deep talk.
What do you guys think about the new nominee or the guy? What's his name?
JD Vance.
JB Vance. What do you guys think about him?
Trump selected Ohio senator. I don't know much about him, to be quite honest.
He was
I don't
not on
think-
my radar.
Mine either. Like, I don't think anybody really knows a lot about him. He's about 30, 38, 39 years old. Yeah.
There's so apparently he has ties to Peter Thiel,
Mm-hmm. Yep, I saw that.
and there's rumors that PayPal Mafia might have got him up there.
Interesting.
Well, I know
Interesting.
they say he's a pro crypto supporter.
Yeah.
Well, that yeah.
They all are now, right? They're all going to hop on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're conservative, they will. If they're liberal, they won't.
If they're smart and liberal, they will.
Nah.
I could see some folks turn in. I don't think so. What I don't like to do is paint boxes, because I think that there are, I guess if they're not allowed to have a voice, then yes, they paint their own party in a box. But I believe that there are lots of liberals that are trying and fighting for crypto also, or that are pro crypto. They're just not put out in the forefront, you know.
I can't think of one. I can't think of one.
Well, I think I think even a lot of the people that got in the blockchain space, I don't think initially all of them were conservatives, you know. I mean, I just don't. I mean, maybe not liberal Democrats if we label people a certain party, but I think, you know, there were, I mean, wasn't it kind of like a libertarian type movement initially when it comes to this space? And I mean, I see a lot of different types of people in the cryptocurrency space, and they're not all conservatives. So
Right, but
know.
the biggest opposition you have, hands down, when it comes to anything that deals with crypto, is coming from the left. Like it is wholeheartedly coming from the Democrats.
Well, because it's losing control, right? I mean, I don't know. That's just the game they play, I guess, with the left and the right. But there's both people, sides of each party are like pretending one tit for tat, so they can have their arguments and they can pretend they're working on bills and doing all this. And you got a champion for that. You got a villain against this. I mean, that's the game they play, right? I mean, all the time with everything.
Right, but it's
crypto.
But it's also accountability. And while there are new and I am not a conservative, but while there are new conservatives that are in the government now that support crypto, everyone on the Democrat side are firmly against it, and because it puts controls on them, it puts accountability on them, and that is something that they are not going to take because they don't want accountability.
Well, they're going to get it, whether they want it or not. It's coming. Nothing can stop this train. It's happening.
And speaking of nothing could stop this train, I got a clip here I want to share with you guys. Listen in real quick.
Investigation to do. We just finished reviewing the financial records in the Treasury. What I saw was over 2,000 pages of jaw-dropping information. There's basically an enterprise wrapped around Joe Biden, involving not only multiple family members, more than we thought there were, but other people as well. Just a complete conglomerate of LLC shell companies where money was passing through from foreign countries, China, Ukraine, but many more countries than just those. There's a lot of information the American people deserve to know of the Biden family and the crimes they've been involved in. And the Oversight Committee has a much bigger investigation to do than we ever thought was possible. I just saw evidence of human trafficking. This involved prostitutes, not only from here in the United States, but foreign countries like Russia and Ukraine. This is unbelievable that a president and a former vice president, not only his son, Hunter Biden, but many more family members extending past Hunter Biden and his immediate family. We're going to have to really get to work. This is an investigation that needs to be revealed to the American people. And not only do we have questions about Hunter Biden himself, but this is going to extend into developing a web of corruption, a web of fake companies that's going to reveal money that came in from many foreign countries and went directly into the personal bank accounts of the Biden family, where they have financially benefited directly from Joe Biden's seats of power. And we look forward to investigating and exposing for this for the American people, and we'll see where it goes from there.
What do you guys think of that?
Wow. Wow. I did not see that. I haven't seen that. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like that's going to be a lot of things that we already knew from like 3 years ago.
I mean,
Yeah, they've been doing it for a long time. It's nothing new.
Us, because we study these things, like we look into these things. But to the normal people, what do you think that's like? Like Steve, have you heard of this before?
Sorry, I had to go do something. Actually, I saw some of that today. Some heads have to roll. Some heads have to roll. I'm tired of the elites and these high-nosed politicians getting away with whatever they want. Someone needs to be held accountable, and I think it's time, and I think the time is now.
Well, it's really
go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, it's also really convenient that this kind of comes out at the same time that the Democrats are trying to get Biden out of the White House anyway.
Yeah,
definitely.
But how does that benefit the Democrats?
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you what you thought about that, because I've seen people's different theories regarding President Biden and the Democrats wanting to get him out and him refusing to leave. And so, like, right after the debate, they instantly were turning on him, and people are saying that, that this is their opportunity to try to get him out. Well, now you've got this kind of stuff coming after him. So, like, what are they going to start eating their own now? And the other thing is that if this does come out, it could also be that they are already trying to get themselves an arm's length away from this guy, because they have been just blowing the smoke all day long, every day, about how awesome he is. And so they had joined him at the hip, so to speak. And so how do you get yourself out of that pickle? You know, there has to be a way to get themselves out of the pickle. And so I just don't know. I think they're in a pretty tricky situation right now.
Didn't Biden just say something about not even a week ago? I think it was about a week ago about putting a bullseye on President Trump,
He
and
did.
then this, yeah. So it's not looking good for this guy at all. I don't know what direction they think they're going to go in to try to even give this guy a chance to run. I think something's going to happen. I think something's going to happen leading to the election, before the election. I'll be surprised if he's still running.
I mean, guys, we all saw the debate. We all saw the guy break down. I mean, we saw it. I mean, we couldn't hide it. I mean, the following day, the media went nuts on it. I mean, we all saw it. All the American people saw it. So
but this is planned, bro. This has to be planned. Nobody like you said that this debate was early. It was unusually early, and then for the day after, I mean, CNN went after him for God's sake. CNN, come on.
Whoever green lighted that debate was a moron on Biden's camp. That was horrible, a horrible decision.
Yeah, but they probably also decided to have it early to show everyone that he's not competent enough to run, so they'll have enough time to usher in somebody else to take his place.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
Who
plan.
that would be, who knows?
That's the plan,
Agreed.
because he's not willing to step down. They
crazy
want him to
shit. They
step
want to
down, and he's saying no, not stepping. I'm not stepping down. So I am in the minority, big time, when it comes to my opinion of Joe Biden and the things that are going on. I'm not necessarily buying the mental incapacity that he's got going on, and the dementia type stuff. I feel like he's playing a part in this. I feel like he's already been caught, and he is helping. I mean, again, this is my wild speculation. Sorry, Joe. And nobody really agrees with me, and that's okay. But I feel like so many things that are happening right now have to happen to get people to kind of wake up and see what's going on. And he is doing a really good job playing his role. And perhaps the people that wanted him to play the role, he's playing it a little bit too good, and they expected him to step down when it was time. And he's like not really playing for that part anymore. He's playing for this other team, and he's not going to step down. And so, but by not stepping down, he is actually putting them in a very bad position. So, and then they're going to have to figure out what to do to get out of it. I mean, I know that sounds convoluted and weird, but that's just my opinion.
Even if he did step down, that would still put the Democrats in a bad position.
Yes,
because
they could put somebody. No, they could use if he cooperated, Joe. If he cooperated with, I have dementia, I'm not well. If he did what he was supposed to do and just back out, then they can put someone else in. Yes or no?
He won't do that though. That puts his whole presidency under question.
Say that again.
He won't do that. He'll never do that because that'll put his whole presidency under question. All those decisions he made, what was he fit to do them or not? That would put his whole presidency under question. I don't think that would do that. That would be damaging.
Actually, that would be
not only that. Future was on the space last week. Shout out to Future, and he made a very valid point. There are 7 states that nominated
that he's
Joe
on
Biden.
The ballot. Yep.
And if they were to replace him, it doesn't go to the next Democrat. It goes to the opposition, which would be the Republicans. And so it wouldn't help the Democratic Party at all. So at this point, it's a lose-lose. At least that's how I see it.
I think that if, like, under duress. So if he had a heart attack or if he just, whatever happened to him, in the immediate, I think that those votes actually do get transferred over to the next person coming up. But if it's like he just comes out and says, "Yeah, I can't remember nothing. I'm a old fuddy duddy now." I don't think, yeah, like you said, those votes don't really transfer over to the next person. And even and then, it might go to Kamala. I have no idea.
Guys, what are the chances that they put a cape on Michelle Obama and put her in?
No,
That's a lot of people hope that. A lot of people think that if she ran,
That would definitely swing the vote.
yes, that she could do it. But I don't think that's going to happen. But maybe it could.
Yeah, Shim already said that they're not running.
Yeah, I don't
She
see
doesn't
that.
have to. She's having a great time running Netflix.
Boom! Slam dunk.
Bearable Chicken, you sent me something. You want to share it?
Well, go ahead, buddy. Just go ahead and handle it for me. I'm just taking care of something in the background. My bad. I'll be right back.
Oh no, I'll wait for you then because I'm not reading all that.
Yeah, I think
Shmoe is crazy, guys.
I think this whole situation is a bit wild. I do think that there's a major game being played, but back and forth with the powers that be. The puppets are being danced around on the stage, and maybe they don't know if they're coming or going or who's controlling them at the moment. But one thing's for sure to me in my mind is that they are not acting on their own. Someone else is making these decisions and controlling the words that are being put out on the screen for them to say. And I just feel like so many of them are acting very weird. There's just weird stuff happening left and right. And one thing, I don't know if you guys saw, somebody put something in on X. I don't know if you're familiar with the Project Looking Glass thing, where they can feed all this information, this data, and the timeline thing, and saying that the powers that be know that every timeline, no matter which one you're on, all ends up at the same result, and so no matter what happens, and so they might be trying to figure. Do you know what I'm talking about, Joe? All timelines end in the same
I think we
result.
all know what you're talking about.
So
Yeah. Tony, I know you got something to share about Project Looking Glass.
Why do you come to me?
I know you know.
Because you got a cool picture for your, you got a cool photo for your guy.
What will be looked for?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's for my opinion about all this is that I feel like everything that's happening now has already happened like a while ago. Like we're just seeing the tail end of everything. Like I don't want to go and do the whole quotes of the whole it's a movie thing, but at the same time I think that all the things that have taken place, that are taking place, and that are going to are just the end results of things that have just been finished up a long time ago. I really do.
I agree with you. I really do agree with you. And I'm thinking this is where I say, like, the things that are being played out, it's kind of to get the other people to wake up, the ones that aren't awake at the moment, that don't realize really what's going on. It's also a way to get things done that need to be done, because so many things have been screwed up with our government and the way things have been run across the world, and all of these things have to be revamped. And how do you do that with the least harm to the people? You couldn't let it all crash and burn, and we watch perps being walked out and all this stuff that would cause major trauma to the world. And so I do feel like this operation is being handled delicately, as delicately as it possibly can be handled. And for the most part, I think they're doing a damn good job.
Did you hear? Did you guys hear? I wish I had. I was talking to a buddy. I was at the gym today, and he said there was a video that was actually on YouTube 4 days prior to the incident. I wish I had the video. I'm just wondering if anybody else heard about it.
What
About
was
three,
it?
it was talking about the incident 4 days prior to Trump being shot. Saying something to the fact that he was going to get hit in the ear and all this other stuff.
Oh, that guy. I think it was even before 4 days. You're talking about the guy that had the vision. That like kind of like prophesized it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Does anybody have the link to that?
I'll find it
No,
while you guys are chatting if you want me
but
to.
but people have been commenting on it.
Yeah.
He was telling me people have been commenting on it, and it's like, how did this guy know this stuff? And so, yeah, if she could find that video, that would probably be good to show.
it's the woo, man. It's the woo.
It is.
Hey, I'm not. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a huge Cliff High fan. So I do believe in the woo.
I didn't understand what they meant by woo, and that the Cliff High thing kind of turned me off because I didn't really know where he was coming from. But then when I realized that he studies the data, he studies the energy flow, and he can see these types of things, and it's the consensus of the people, the ebb and flow of different information, and how populations and the psychology of it all, right? Like how people
No,
respond to this and that.
no.
No?
So what WebBot does is it actually takes what it does is it scours the internet, and what it's doing is picking up on emotion and intensities. So what he can do is he can like, okay, so for instance, he gave like a month ago, he was talking about like Saturday. He said there's another one coming up in a few days, but this was like a month, 2 months, and hell, it might even been over a year ago that he was talking about this. But he'll bring it up every now and then. But what WebDot does is it actually goes through and reads the language of how people's emotions are responding, and then what it does is it translates that, because what he's saying is that in a weird way, we're all kind of psychic, and we all can project things subconsciously through our words on the internet.
That's kind of you said it better than I said it, but that was kind of what I was meaning when what I was trying to say. Very similar to what I was trying to explain, but you said it way better than I did.
That's some bullshit. Yo, guys, I got a question for you.
Can't find it.
Is RFK still an option? Check this video out. So apparently, Mayorkas, the president, has directed me to work with the Secret Service to provide protection to Robert Kennedy Jr. RK, hold on.
In light of this weekend's events, the president has directed me to work with the Secret Service to provide protection to Robert Kennedy Jr.
What are you guys' thoughts on that? Is that
It's
still an
about damn
option?
time. He should have had it.
Is it
You're
always-
talking about the independent, right? Independent running.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they all should have protections against them, especially after an attempted assassination. Yeah.
Well, if the Secret Service does a bang up job like they did with Trump, let's start planning.
Man, that's a DEI for you right there. That's that diversity hire. What was she like? What was she like, a foot and a half shorter than Trump? She wasn't even over top of him. There was one agent that was actually using Trump as a shield as they were getting him out of there. And if you listen to the mics, they're all standing around going, "What do we do? What do we do?" Oh, it was horrible.
They did a bang up job.
Imagine those. I think it was senators that was voting against the protection for President Trump and others. Imagine how they're looking right now. You guys did hear about that, right?
Man, they look like suspects.
Exactly.
All right, so Bearable Chicken, do we got your back?
Yeah, here I'm back.
All right, you wanted to touch on something.
Oh, yeah. Almost forgot while we were talking about JD Vance. Um, I was going to point out the fact that we were questioning whether or not he's crypto friendly and what have you, and I pulled up some information. Obviously, you can go to Wikipedia and see all this information yourself. But this guy's got a lot of key players donating, serious amounts of cash. You're looking at guys that are associated with AOL. Um, there was even trying to pull this page back up. I have it in a tab. I got so many tabs over here. I was looking at Andy Barr, state representative from Kentucky earlier. He's got some pretty good connections. But yeah, Vance was getting a lot of money to the tune of like $93 million is what I read on Wikipedia. Peter Thiel, obviously, he was also able to successfully start a venture capital firm down in Cincinnati. And he's associated with Mark Andreessen. I'm sure you guys are familiar with, Andreessen Horowitz, right? What
Yep.
do they go by themselves? A16Z. Vance was also on CNN as a contributor. There's a lot of stuff going on with this guy. So I guess the whole point in me bringing all this stuff up is that, like, I think that when you think about what these candidates do, right? These senators, state representatives, and what have you, congressmen. I mean, the majority of the job is fundraising, right?
What is that change going to look like?
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's just a lot of big money that obviously are donating and shaping policy behind closed doors, and I think that the average American isn't really paying attention to that. So just wanted to toss that out there.
All right. So check this out, guys. Junior is not happy with MSNBC. Check this video out.
Like, Don, what is that change going to look like, Don? What practically your father as president, I think you would even say, was a divisive figure. What's it going to look like in the second term?
I don't think he was a divisive figure at all. I think the media created divisiveness around him. They lied about Russia collusion. They said he was a traitor. They went after him in every which way possible. If the media actually starts being an honest broker, talking about the things that he did, the prosperity he brought, the peace deals that he signed around the world, rather than the disaster that we're living right now, I think you'd do everyone in the country a big favor.
I know immigration's important to him. I covered the family separation crisis closely. Will we continue to see policies like separating 5,000 children deliberately from their parents?
You mean the Obama administration?
You know they didn't do that, sir.
Okay, sure.
Will there be a second family separation policy?
It's MSDNC, so I expect nothing less from you clowns. Even today, even 48 hours later, you couldn't wait. You couldn't wait with your lies and with your nonsense. So just get out of here.
Wow. Huh? Just get out of here.
He said, "Be gone."
Bye
He's a
bye
tip
now.
off the old
Bye
block.
bye.
I mean, to be fair, you could have said that clip was from 2 years ago, and I would have believed it then too. So
Nothing's changed.
I think it's sad, bro. And the way the reporter went to defend the Obamas, it was like, let the man speak, I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you guys see these things ending? I had a conversation this morning with Future and Fat Tony, and their views were opposite, but kind of on the same page. How do you see all of this ending?
Not good.
Is it?
Not good. Not with the economy, not with the border, not with our foreign affairs. I mean, it's just a clusterfuck, man. I'll be honest with you. Things are not looking good. People should prepare for the worst. Bank runs, interest rates. There's so many things going on right now. If you're a football player or a baseball player and you're looking downfield, it's not looking good. Can't see the open man. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think it's appropriate to yield on the side of caution, right, and make sure that you're paying attention to all angles. I mean, you know, the American in me, right, the nationalistic guy that I've grown to become, hopes that Trump does in fact win the presidency, and maybe we can just kind of pick up where we left off with the previous administration. Um, but at the same time, with the recent events the last couple of days, what we've seen from the media, I, I can't help but think that maybe this doesn't work out right at some point. I don't know. It could be anything from like an additional attempt on maybe the Democrat side, maybe you know what I mean. At that particular point, you could potentially see some sort of like martial law or something, and then we're looking at maybe a halt or a delay in an election cycle. Just my thoughts.
Well, like I said, Greg, do you have something to add to this?
No, I'm just I'm just like I said, I'm just taken back by the whole thing, man. And I really can't. I like I said, I can't see. I have no idea what's going to actually happen. Like I said, I know Bearable Chicken and we've had several conversations as well. Um, I guess we'll just have to see what happens. It's definitely scary. I'll just say that.
Well, scary it is. And like I said, I had a conversation with Fat Tony and Future earlier, and I think it ends in civil war.
With a what?
I don't.
Civil war.
With a war?
You
Civil
think?
war, man.
Well, you think?
Civil war?
I think that that's what they're probably trying to do, right? Is to cause now that this has happened with Trump, then perhaps something happens on the other side, and then they can blame it on Trump supporters and whatnot, and cause this divide. But now here's I'm very big on the whole consciousness, and together we can make a difference. And just like Tony was saying, with reading the flow of things and people's response to things, I believe that together we can make things how we want it to be, and we don't want it to be a civil war. And so it's best not to speak of things in that way, in my opinion. More seeing people stepping up and saying this, there is no place for violence, and we need to calm this rhetoric down. And the more people that stand up and say that and fight back, and like I said, I'm seeing people that haven't said boo about anything when it comes to politics that are starting to step up and say, you will not talk like that. You will not laugh about this and think it's funny. We need to know that we have more in common than we have differences. And the minute that we realize that and we acknowledge it and live it, this bullshit stops. And so I want to try to think as positively as I can. And like I said, I think that a lot of things have to happen in order for a lot more people to wake up to what's going on. And I think it's being done in a controlled fashion. And I can just, I mean, there's going to be blowups for sure, but I don't want to say that there's going to be a civil war. Because that would be terrible, Joe. That would be awful.
Melissa, let me ask you this. Okay, so I think Bearable Chicken and I would talk about this. It could have been a totally different situation the day after, right? What if this attempt happened? I mean, don't you think? I mean, we don't want a civil war, but that's probably what if he would have got assassinated. That's probably what would have happened. So I mean, I'm leaning on the side of what So the Joe and Future, I think their attempt is to start a civil war. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, just
But
imagine if that would have happened, if he would have got assassinated.
but it
Um,
didn't. But it didn't. And this is where I'm saying, like, maintaining the positivity and don't fall into that, right? It's like they always want to pit us against left versus right. They want to paint people in a box, and they want to get people angry, and they want to keep you distracted and angered so that you don't give attention to the things that are happening that are good, or even to be able to protect yourself. Like, I heard someone say, prepare for the worst, and gather your resources and things like that. And so I guess I'm just saying it didn't happen. I did notice, some of the mainstream media kind of tamping down their rhetoric. I also noticed that, like, that morning show with Joe and Micah or Mika Brzezinski or whatever, they were off air today. Why that was, I don't know, but they weren't on air because maybe they thought they would say something stupid. And so, though I tend to try to look at the positive signs that there are more good people than bad people. And this is our opportunity to step up and do the right thing and encourage others to do the right thing. So I see what you're saying, and I surely acknowledge that that's a possibility, but I want to acknowledge the blessing that it didn't happen. And it didn't happen for a reason. This is our time to step up and continue on with the goodness that we were blessed with, and the fact that it didn't happen, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
I 100% agree. But if I can piggyback off that, Joe, I also think that it's very, very appropriate and very important, right, to always have a plan in place. It's better to be proactive than to be reactive to these types of scenarios. Now, God forbid anything like that plays out, right? But at the same time, I'm also with you in terms of, trying to, from an ideological perspective, shift what we've got going on in terms of what kind of information we want to put out, positive energy. I'm with you on that as well.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I like that. I like that shift. Tony, you've been a little quiet. What's going on? What are your thoughts?
I was just letting you guys go on with that. No, the reason, okay, so the reason why I feel like that we could potentially see a civil war is because if you do look at the fourth turning, or you do look into the fourth turning, they do call for a civil war at some point that brings reform. So it's how many of these totalitarian uh, legislative things that are going to happen, like how many more totalitarian rules do we have to go by before a state like Texas says, you know what, we're done, we're seceding? And then at that point, what does Florida do, and what do the Carolinas do, and what does Georgia do, and what does the middle of the country do that don't want to follow like totalitarian rules that are enforced in California? People in Texas don't want to deal with that because half of them moved from California to get away from it. So what I'm saying is that I think we potentially we potentially stand a chance of a civil war, and we've been in this situation now for years. I mean, we've been in this situation since 2020. You have a massive migrant issue that is happening in Texas that the federal government will not even acknowledge is happening. So at what point does the states go, well, you're not listening to us, we're backing out? And that's where your civil war is going to come from.
I agree with that one. I think we all agree government needs restructuring, and I think the only way around that is through civil war. But I'm just gonna throw a drop in the pond. Trump is gonna inherit a severe, debt crisis. The government is in severe debt. Our national growth income is not sustainable to just pay the interest. I think the interest payments are number two behind the fence. I think if anything is going to start a civil war, it's going to be something with the dollar crashing. You know, Trump is at the head. You know, he's for reform. He's for draining the swamp. And let's be honest, the Democrats want to keep the regime the way it is. And I think it's going to be a tug of war. And I think that's going to be the only way. I would hope not. Can't see nothing like that happening right now, being that we have so many active scenes all over the world going on right now. But it's not looking good any way you look at it. It's just not.
And you know, that kind of falls with the narrative of Texas starting their own stock exchange, rivaling the New York Stock Exchange. Um, it's just interesting times. But check this out. Elon got the bag. Why? Check this out. Pull this up on the screen. Add to the stage. Boom. So breaking. Elon Musk plans to support Donald Trump's campaign by contributing $45 million a month to a new super PAC aimed at electing President Trump, according to the Wall Street Journal. That's a lot of dough. That's a lot of dough. Oh wait,
He's buying his seat at the table.
that's a lot of dough. Oh wait, I think we lost Melissa. Bearable chicken, Tony. What do you guys think about that?
I'm looking at
Is
some
this
stuff about this Texas blockchain, or excuse me, Texas stock exchange, real quick while you guys were having that conversation. My fault, bro. What was the subject matter?
all right? Yeah, because this whole thing just glitched on me right now. Melissa
Same
left and
here. I
came
got
back.
kicked out.
Yeah, I don't know what
It,
the hell
it,
happened.
it
This
I
whole
like
thing just
my
quit.
computer froze and then it like went out and I was like, holy smokes, what just happened here? We're talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
too
yeah.
much controversial stuff.
I know, Elon. Don't knock us off. I'm
Come on now.
sorry. I'm just reporting the news. But hold on, somebody's mic is on. Whose mic is that? I can't see. They muted it. Sneaky bastards. All right, check this out.
Wasn't me.
So Elon Musk plans to support Donald Trump's campaign by contributing $45 million a month to a new super PAC aimed at electing President Trump, according to the Wall Street Journal. Why so much? Wasn't Elon just crying he wasn't making enough on Twitter?
Uh, well, I mean, he does. Okay, so he does float between one and two of the world's richest people, right? So he's either the world's richest or the second world's richest. So he definitely has the money to contribute 45 million a month. As far as Twitter goes, I mean, well, I mean, he bought it for a high price, and he's not really doing all that much with it. I mean, you don't really you still rug in spaces.
No, but you know what I found interesting? It happened today, and that's all of a sudden that happens right after that vice president gets elected or chosen by Trump, who also happens to be down with Peter Thiel, who's a part of that PayPal mafia with Elon Musk. I think there's some digging that needs to be done there. Melissa, what are your thoughts? I see your face. You're muted.
I thought it was my
There you
my
go.
mic. There we go. I don't know. I mean, the whole PayPal mafia thing, I get it. Like all these guys that are in crypto now that have been building on these projects, they've all rubbed elbows with each other at one point or another, right? And the money and some of the people that have funded different projects and things like that. So I don't know. I don't know what I think about it, really. I'm just it started somewhere, right? like all this stuff started somewhere. And the other thing I want to say is, again, with my optimism, people change, in whether willingly or unwillingly change. And so, given the gravity of all of the things that have gone on in the world for decades, for centuries, you can't just destroy all these people that have been major public figures, heads of companies, celebrities, Congress people, whatever. You can't just take them all out, right? So either they've been replaced or they're playing a part, the ones that have gotten in trouble. And so I guess I'm just saying people can change either willingly or unwillingly. So if there were bad guys, they might actually be doing good things now, either as their real selves or as somebody who looks like them, which
Well,
also sounds far out, I know, but
I mean, to be fair, like who's left?
well, that's my point. That's my point, is that there were so many corrupt people that you can't take them all out. There has to be a facade while this is gently dismantled and built back again, right? And so
Well,
you can't take out every single person. So there has to be some folks that are still left in the game that are icons and that have money. Which sounds crazy, but I'm just saying.
I mean, I haven't really seen a celebrity. God, I probably haven't seen 95% of celebrities in the past 3 years. Nobody's watching movies. Hollywood is dead. The only thing that's associated with Hollywood is Harvey Weinstein and his case. Like nobody's watching anything on the big screen, you know? And if they are watching anything on the big screen, it's independent movies with B actors that have never really had any other, you know, like major roles.
Well, I disagree with you only because I agree with you, the fact that those of us that have been awake and paying attention, giving attention to this stuff for the past 10 years, we're not watching, we're not supporting. There are still a large amount of the population that are caught up in these celebrities, do care what they have to say. And what I notice is that a lot of these celebrities and people that have been highly respected by the world, they're saying and doing some pretty interesting things. They're being put in bad situations, to start turning the public's opinion on them, sort of to let them down easily, I guess. Instead of destroying someone's psyche so much, it seems as though that a lot of this stuff is being dismantled in a gentle way so that people can make their own decisions to no longer support that celebrity. Whether it's like George Clooney, for example, you know, people like George Clooney. Well, then George Clooney is talking crap about Biden. And so now George Clooney fans are like, well, I don't like George Clooney anymore. You know what I'm saying? This is being handled in a very manipulated way, to untangle the web that has been so tightly woven for so many years. And so for those of us that have given this attention, we are like, hell no, we're not watching TV. We're not watching movies. We don't care what these people say. But there are still people, my family and friends on Facebook, that are still knee deep up to their eyeballs in it, you know?
So you guys are talking Hollywood, and I just remember something. I'm actually looking for the link right now. Oh, here it is. Boom, perfect. Check this out. I thought this was crazy.
Oh, this pisses me off. This is a great example, Joe. Can't hear it. Are you sharing it in Chrome?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Don't miss Trump next time. That was crazy, bro.
Jack Black. That was Jack Black and Tenacious D. Right? Just said it.
Yes.
That is a perfect example because, like I said, there are people on my Facebook, my family and friends who are starting to say this is not funny, right? So you've got people that have been diehard Jack Black fans that see that and it's changing their opinion of him, right? And so it's just little things like that that are starting to change people's view, and stop. Just like lots of us stopped watching sports when all the crazy stuff was going on about kneeling and all this stuff, and people were like, you know what, I'm done with football. I don't need to watch this crap. I don't watch this for you guys to be arguing back and forth. Same thing is happening with movies and music, in my opinion. I mean, am I completely way off on left field here for your other four gentlemen? I'm the only chick like
No.
stirring the pot up in here. Sorry.
I don't think so. I feel like with the wokeness of Hollywood and then the wokeness of pro sports back in like 2020, 2020? Yeah. I just feel that people are just putting all of these things down a memory hole. Like, I'm not seeing people overly engage in sports like they were prior to 2020. So I'm not seeing people watching football, watching basketball, really caring about any type of sport prior to 2020. And I think it's just because like they've all just taken this very, I guess you would say woke stance, or just maybe like pro-government authoritarian stance. While also saying dismantle government authority.
No, absolutely. There's a lot of things to cover, but today's Monday. I've had a long ass day.
It's only Monday.
Yeah, it's Monday. What do you guys got planned for the rest of the week?
I got the Dip a Toe show on Wednesday. I'm gonna have Patrick L. Riley is gonna join us on Wednesday to discuss his inventions that he had covered at the Quantum Summit. So it has to do with energy, something that you can build yourself. So I'm very interested to learn more about that. He's going to go over it in detail with us on Dip a Toe on Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time at Dip a Toe on YouTube and on Rumble, and at Dip a Toe Show on X. And we will be live streaming on all platforms. Thank you, Jill.
Guys, make sure you go show Melissa some love. Variable Chicken, what you got planned for the rest of the week?
Man, I'm just working, bro. You know what I mean? Just trying to pay attention, be ready. You know what I mean? And continue to sit in these spaces and support all you guys and make sure that we're sharing the information. I'm trying to facilitate to that. But with that being said, it's shout out to Texas. It's real hot down here. So with that being said, you guys have a good night. We'll see you next week, bro. That's what I got, Joe.
Steve.
Same old over here. Work, keeping aware, keeping an eye out, staying informed.
Hey, listen. Steve gave me one day. I called Steve. He's like, I'm tired of this shit, man. The fucking hamster wheel. I'm like, hamster wheel? What you mean? It's like the fucking hamster, same shit every day. You just keep running. It's just like, fuck. Now every morning I wake up in the morning, I'm like, goddamn fucking hamster wheel.
Hamster wheel, man. Same routine.
Thanks, Steve.
Big G.
Yeah.
Man,
I'm just.
What a passport, bro.
I'm just chilling. I will be going. I'm taking a trip tomorrow. I'm going out of the country. I'll be gone for about a week. Big birthday weekend. So I'll be hitting Colombia, going to Cartagena.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Appreciate it. Just enjoying the beat, trying to get a little relaxation, trying to distract from everything that's going on, and need a little distraction, a little positivity.
But yeah, I'll be back. I will not be on the show next week, Monday. Well, I might be. I might just be engaging
Hey,
Columbia.
around the block in Columbia, man. You know.
yeah. You know how we do
Happy
it.
birthday, man. Enjoy.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys and ladies.
Batole.
I'm gonna hop on a plane with Big G.
Come on. Hey, bro.
I'm
Hey,
going
bro,
Big
let's
G.
go. I'm gonna send you my info.
I just want lobster. That's all I want. I just want some lobster, man.
Man, they got they got some good fish there, man. They got some good fish.
Let's go. Fucking GB calling me. Yo, como se dice? How you say this, bro?
Don't do that to me. You're right, though.
Nah, I love you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing week. Guys, don't forget to check out Melissa on Will Be Free, Dipper Toe Show. Shout out to Simon as well. They had me on their show last week. Make sure you go check that out. Guys, thanks for joining. See you next Monday.